I wanted to ask questions about the Jerusalem and the US's decision to relocate its embassy there.
Okay.
Okay. So there was a vote in the United Nations General Assembly last year condemning the US for its decision to recognise Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Now, we abstained on that vote, and I noted at the time that our ambassador to the UN, Gillian Bird, said there was much in the resolution that we agreed with, but we abstained. So could you elaborate on what was meant by that comment, please?
Well, our position on Jerusalem, as you know, Senator, is that this is something that needs to be left in the final negotiations for what we hope will be the two-state solution, which is what Australia has supported over the years and continues to support. So in terms of the resolution referring to the two-state solution and final negotiations, those are things that we would support in principle. However, we did not, and this is consistent with our long-standing policy, we did not feel it appropriate that this resolution be brought on in the UN General Assembly, and so we abstained from the resolution.
So you spoke about the peace process there. What is your response to the US decision and how it affects the peace process?
Well, we are disappointed by the US decision. We think it complicates the peace process, but we still regard the US as playing a very important role and as a necessary player for any peace process.
I understand in the Oslo agreements and other aspects of trying to resolve these issues that have often been clearly set out that the final status of Jerusalem must be decided in direct negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. Is that the position of Australia?
That remains the position of Australia.
Thank you. So therefore, we do have concerns about the US decision.
Yes, we do.
Has the government conveyed our concerns about President Trump's decision directly to the US?
We have indeed engaged the US on this. The Minister herself has engaged the US on this matter, and even around that resolution we had discussions with the US in explaining our position, and we explained our position both to Israel and to the Palestinian Authority in those discussions.
At what level was that, please? Was it like a public statement, press release, or is it actually ambassador to ambassador, minister to minister?
Ambassador to ambassador, minister to minister is more appropriate. We try to avoid too many public statements, as we've already discussed on other issues today.
And so I imagine that the US urged us to vote with them or to at least abstain.
Yes, they urged us to vote against the resolution.
Did the US urge Australia to lobby countries in our region to also abstain or vote against the resolution?
No, and we, as we made our position clear to them, it wasn't appropriate.
So Australian embassy officials in the Pacific were not tasked with making representations on this issue?
No, but in New York we did make it clear how we were going to vote.
So we are expected to believe that it's pure coincidence that not one Pacific Island country supported the resolution when the vast majority of other states supported it, and the trend in the voting of those Pacific countries on these issues was different from how they've voted in the past. So we had nothing to do with that change?
No, I can actually say we did not have anything to do with that.
So in your view, were they contacted by the US? Was there a threat to withdraw aid, considering that was being spoken about? I'm
sure they were contacted by the US. I mean, the US was lobbying on this issue. I'm unable to comment as to any threats with regard to aid. I'm not aware of them.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.